Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Expressions Podcast. I am super excited today because I have a really special guest on, one of my best friends. She is an executive chef at Sleepy Hollow Golf Course. She was actually promoted to be an executive chef at the age of 25, which is really amazing. I'm super happy to talk to her today, a little bit about her creative craft, and yeah. Thanks again for joining us. And before we get into it, I'd like to say hi to my co-host here. So how are you doing today, Ryan?
I've been better. I've been off, as you guys know, for a couple of weeks here. I've been having some dental work done, which I'm still in the process of recovering from. Haven't eaten real food in a while, so listening to all of this is going to be very great. I get to live vicariously with real food right now.
That's awesome. It's the perfect episode to be on then, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And how about you, Mark?
I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to be here tonight. Excited to talk to Cristina. I love food of all kinds, so looking forward to hearing more about the creativity, and we'll look at some Instagram pictures later. So
Definitely.
Should be awesome.
It'll be awesome. And how about you, Cristina? How are you doing?
Good. I'm really excited to be here. I love the whole thing that you guys are doing here, and I'm a huge fan, and I think it's amazing. I love that we can share all different forms of expression and figure out what everyone's up to these days, and just really get on a connection and on a just be humans and get talking.
I love that, like a real personal level.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No masks.
Yep.
No.
Yep. I just
Is that okay, guys? Are you guys okay with you don't wear masks here?
I have one. We probably all do, right?
Yeah, me too. I just took it out of my pocket.
That's awesome. Well, I'm super happy to be here, and I'm really excited to get talking to Cristina. But before we get into different questions and stuff, Cristina, could you explain a little bit about your career as a chef and discovering food?
Yep. No, absolutely. I'll give you guys the short form version because I've been doing this for about 16 years now, and I just kind of happened to fall into it. I had my nonna, my grandmother, work at another private golf course, and being the oldest grandchild at 12 years old, she's like, "You're going to come work on weekends." So I'm like, I don't know, kind of deal. And I was a dishwasher, and basically just worked my way up. I just had the drive to wanting to get back there behind the line and, be cool like all the other cooks. And, at one point I kind of really hated it to be a dishwasher. And I'm like, I want to be with my friends and, maybe I want to work in a clothing store. I definitely had that kind of, perception, and didn't really think I would land a career in culinary. But it consumes my life now. Like I love it. I breathe it. I dream about it. It's definitely one of those things where it fell into my lap, and I can only thank my nonna for putting me and kind of forcing me, let's say, into this path. Like Italian nonnas, it's like you do what they say, and that is it. So I definitely have to thank her for it.
Well, it's funny that you had said that you hated being a dishwasher, because I'm curious, like, when was the transition for you then from hating, the industry to all of a sudden, this is what I want to stay in?
You know what? I want to say it was kind of overnight, but at the same time, when you're like 12 years old and let's say illegally working,
working behind closed doors, we'll call it.
Yeah, let's call it that. I think I got kind of more comfortable in my own skin, and gained the confidence to be like, well, I think I can do that, and I love food. And you grow up, in an Italian household, loving food and seeing what everyone's doing. And that was kind of basically before the social media platform, it's like basically at your fingertips. So it was basically getting to know the environment and going towards actually being behind the line and actually helping like a sous chef set up plates and learning how to. I remember the day I learned how to flip an egg, and he taught me with a roll of duct tape, and he basically put a little marker on one side and was like, "You're going to learn how to flip this egg." So it was. I think once I started that and gaining confidence, I just started loving it. I was washing dishes and I would want to chop anything in sight. I want to use a knife. I want to chop anything. Give me mushrooms. Give me anything I want to chop. So I think once I started doing that kind of stuff and being more in touch with food, that's when I'm like, this is it. But in all honesty, I wanted to do a career in pastry before I actually hit the culinary mark, which, I went to George Brown. I'm a Red Seal certified pastry chef by trade. And I really got to learn the classic French pastries and specialty cakes and that kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do culinary anymore. I don't want to work the long hours and the high stress kitchen and, learning at a quick age, probably around the age of 14, 15. I'm like, how am I going to, do the adult things and have a family and me being away, and especially being a woman and all those things. So all those run through my mind, especially at a very young age. So I went to pastry school and I loved it. I ended up doing like my own kind of business, decorating cakes. And I graduated, but still keeping in touch with culinary, always being in private clubs. So this is my third private club that I'm actually at. The last one I was at sold. It was called York Downs in Unionville. I was there for 10 years and I basically built my career from there. I started as a breakfast cook to chef de partie to sous chef to luckily being the head chef and being like the last chef standing at that club and closing it. So I really had a taste of kind of everything on with the pastry and savory side, but pastry chefs don't get the adrenaline rush like chefs do. That's
so
what we live for.
You almost went from hating the craziness of culinary to saying, I miss that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like decorating cakes, like as a cake decorator at Loblaws, you listen to the same music every day and you serve customers and you're like, this is not enough. So
So are you just going to work listening to Slayer now, like ready to run for the day?
We have the radio on all day long,
Yeah.
but you don't really hear much because of the exhaust fans. But it's just such a different environment, and I would not trade it for the world.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome.
So you said the adrenaline rush. What part of culinary will give you that adrenaline rush? Like, what has to happen? Is there a perfect storm, or is there a certain number of tables busy, or something like that?
It's the unexpected, the unknown. There is like a music song kind of melody plays in your head when you have a perfectly prepped line. Orders keep coming in. You don't know what to expect. Everyone's having a good time. You're sweating. Deep down, you may be crying inside, but at the same time, it's just, we know at the end of the day, everybody on that kitchen line is there for a reason. They love what they're doing and just bring it on. Like, let's get these orders going. Let's get people happy. Let's get people fed. And it's just, there's nothing like it. Like, I can't explain like the feeling you get once you're actually back there, but it's amazing. I love it. That's
awesome. So do you have like a favorite day that you like to be in? Like, is there a shift that's the best to work?
Every day is so different. We right here at Sleepy Hollow, Thursday night is our men's league night. So lots of steaks, lots of, let's say, manly dishes where you got full racks of ribs, and not that ladies can't enjoy that either, but it's just something about that night that it's the craziest. You don't know what to expect. Now that we're kind of opening up things more with a little bit looser restrictions, we can have a little bit more diners on our patio. So it's Thursday nights is probably like my favorite. It's, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how many onion ring cones are you going to fly out the door that night, and you don't know how many steaks. But I like to play competitions and challenges with the servers and say whoever sells the most specials tonight is a dessert on chef, and get them motivated and just like we're here. Like we spend more time at the club together than you do at home with your own family. So let's make it enjoyable. Let's make it fun, and and let's just do it. So it's definitely probably Thursday nights.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, it's incredibly important to do that too, is to have that positive environment, because you certainly work in a very high stress environment. I worked in the kitchen for 2 days. I couldn't do it personally. It wasn't the world for me. So kudos to you for being able to go in and try to make it as positive as possible. What are some of the harder experiences you've had in your time, and how have you dealt with those?
Like, as much as I'm saying this is all great and beautiful and fun, it is stressful. Starting at such a young age, like realizing this is what I want to do, like I definitely had to jump through some hurdles, and it ends up being like, from the history of time, like this is a man's world.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, it's like I was the first female chef, like female head chef at York Downs, and I was very proud of that moment. And I've worked with some amazing chefs, and then I've worked with some, let's say, not the brightest, and you were put down because you were a woman. Like you would get kind of talked to or not treated the same because you're a woman. If I messed up in some way, they would slap, let's call it, your womanhood on you, and say, I don't know if I can get kind of a little graphic on here, but they're just saying, they're like, oh, like you messed that up. Like, are you on your period today? And it's like, wow, really?
Just crossing the line
no,
outright.
I'm not,
Yeah.
but like, don't cross that, right? But you definitely had to like fight and get and climb and push through whatever you had to do. And I was very lucky at some other clubs that I worked at that they were very supportive, and and my goal is to never make anybody feel like that in a kitchen. You see all the shows, and I'm a huge fan of Hell's Kitchen, and I absolutely love Gordon Ramsay, and he makes me laugh, and I would work for him in a heartbeat. Would I shame somebody with the way they look? No. Will I yell at them because my neck's on the line? Of course. But I would never make somebody feel like the way somebody made me feel in this industry. So like, definitely supporting the female. I have some amazing female cooks in there that, that said, I'm not sure if I can do this. I don't have as much experience. And I'm like, you don't need it. As long as you have a good attitude, passion for the job, we'll work together. Like, everybody has to start somewhere. And I believe if you can grow your team to success, then you did a good job at the end of the day. Even though my name and my neck is on the line, I will easily teach somebody and may easily give somebody the opportunity that maybe I had to fight extra hard for. So it's a little easier for them.
It's incredible.
That's amazing. That's really, really good. I know it would be a very tough field to work in as a woman. And Cristina, I can relate. I've had customers come to me before and, comment on, me telling them to wear a mask during COVID and asking if it was my time of the month. And like going so far as, sending complaints in or something like that, and saying things like that are just completely crossing a line. And I totally feel for you. I'm actually curious because you switching topics from that, because I think you hit a lot of really great points there, and I'm so glad to hear that, like, you're really trying to make it a better work environment for females out there, even in the smaller change. Like, I myself as a manager, I try to do my best and give people equal opportunity and that kind of thing. But earlier you had mentioned something about York Downs, and how that you worked there for 10 years and you built your career from the ground up, but you also had to see it close. And that must have been kind of a difficult experience to see. Can you speak a little bit how
Dude,
that kind of
you're giving me chills. It was such like place. I was very, very lucky with the team I worked with. They were such a solid team, like been there for years. And, when I got promoted to sous chef and head chef, I had nothing but support from those lovely people. And it, it was like, it was hard. It's definitely hard to close down an operation, trying to keep staff morale up, trying to do day operations, trying to be the strongest one on your team for your staff, regardless of your like how you're feeling. Um, you know, I loved it. I loved that place. Like I grew up there. I started when I believe I was like 16 years old. Like actually even like 17 years old, I was there. And, like even the chef I worked for that hired me said like, you know, you've changed, you've grown up, you go for what you want. And I still keep in touch with everybody. It's funny. I went down from closing a place to actually almost restarting here. And we basically rebuilt Sleepy from the ground up. We demolished the kitchen and I went through the pantries. I went through everything, and we're going to start fresh, and kind of get a little bit of background and some history on the place, and then let's just go. Let's just move forward. It's definitely night and day from different clubs, in different environments, but I think by the closure of York Downs definitely gave me the push I needed to do something else. To maybe not be so comfortable in the place I was working at for 10 years, because you grow so comfortable. You're with the same people every day, and this kind of gave me the push and maybe extra confidence to say, hey, you know what, maybe I could do this somewhere else.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I mean, you have been, and you're doing an awesome job. You're doing all these cool things on Instagram with different promotions like the high tea and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I saw for Mother's Day, and all the different kind of flavors of poutine I've seen you do, like to go, like when they couldn't necessarily probably stay in the dining hall or on the patio, you had ways of making this kind of food and adapting to the scenario it is. How has COVID kind of impacted your job?
It's definitely it's totally different. Like, being in a country club setting, it's all about Mother's Day and Easter buffets and huge tournaments where you feed your members breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have again more buffets and dining inside, dining outside, and you basically put a stop to all that. And last year being our last year at York Downs, we had everything planned, like big closing party. This is going to be my last our last brunches for everything, and we stopped. Like it was so difficult to adapt. Like last year I spent the first Mother's Day, Easter, Mother's Day and Easter holidays like with my family, like on the actual day. Like I haven't done that in about 15 years. Those are the days where you wake up at 4:30, you get to the club at 5, and you just go, and you don't stop until you feed everybody great food, and then you go home and you either eat a pizza or just go straight to bed. So it's definitely put a kind of a whole stop on our whole industry, and I just feel so bad for like the mom and pop shops that that rely on the foot traffic, and like they work so hard, and it's if money can't be spent anywhere else, like it's you're not going to a restaurant, or you're not going to get that takeout because you're going to go to the grocery store and make something at home where it's a little bit more feasible. So COVID's definitely put like a whole damper on our whole industry, but I do see it's picking up. Like our patio has been busier than ever so far. Everyone I think is eager to kind of get out and kind of be over this and put it behind us and start living and socializing again. So, it was definitely like a reality check on what you have and what you didn't have anymore. And it like, I can't even explain like what COVID has done to so many lives across the world.
It's unreal. Like here, I live in Thunder Bay, and we've got a lot of great little local restaurants. And my wife and I sort of committed early on. What we did was we said, okay, let's get takeout from different places all the time. And we've found some fantastic little restaurants. Like even if they were open, they have like 4 tables. So they thrive mostly on the takeout. So that has been something that the industry is surviving on up here. One of our favorite restaurants, it was a bigger restaurant, privately owned. It closed when COVID started. It hasn't reopened yet. So I don't know. I noticed I was actually on the web today and it says temporarily closed. So I don't know whether they're going to reopen or not, but I hope they do because, they were a talented team with great service and great food. And that's just something, if I can give anybody listening or watching, please go out, get that takeout, pick a night a week, get takeout, support the restaurants because
absolutely.
These are people that work really hard. And we're talking to Cristina here and obviously you've got a great team and they've all got lively, they need to make a livelihood as well as get out of their own house and get out and do things. So want to make sure that everybody's supporting your local restaurants and please also be nice to everyone. We hear a lot of horror stories. I work for Shopper, so I hear a lot of horror stories every day about how people are getting yelled at because we run out of toilet paper or whatever. So you've run out of ribs or an onion ring cone and suddenly it's the end of the world for somebody because they saw one go by and now they want it. But,
monkey see, monkey do is what we call it.
Please be kind to your servers, wait staff, and the chefs.
And tip well.
And tip well, yes.
On that note, I'm kind of curious. Well. Do you have any funny stories of just unreal interactions you've had with people where you just thought, you're being completely ridiculous? Like things that just made you laugh almost in your head?
Staff wise or member client wise?
Either. Member wise would be great, but either it is.
That's a good one. I've had somebody order, which I didn't end up meeting this person, but I had somebody order a bagel, toasted, take out the inside of the bagel because I don't want to eat that much bread, put cream cheese and butter and smoked salmon and red onions and capers on the side, but double toast the bagel, butter on it. It was like wild. And I was like, what? So I don't know if that was
baffling.
Funniest, but that's like the one I thought about.
Bagel?
Yeah, like I had to take a spoon and carve out the bagel.
So they just wanted the bagel crust, basically.
Yeah, so I'm like, why don't you just order crackers or English muffin? And they're like,
can
no,
you
they want
even toast that? Like,
oh, we did it. We did it. It's when you're dealing with like members at a private club, like you just, yes, we got this.
Yeah.
We will do it.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, sure, if the rule of thumb is if you have it in your house and it's doable, it's a yes. But yeah, like I would say that was probably like I will never forget that. I'm not sure if it was my funniest from a member
that's a good one. That's a good one.
But I would staff.
Never heard of a hollowed out bagel.
Yeah, it's a first. But actually, staff wise. When I was chef de partie, and that is the right hand to the sous chef, if you're looking at chain of command, I had one of this line cook that he brand new to the club, thought he was all that, and we ended up being very cool friends after. But I was doing a pasta bar out for the members, and we cook in front of them every Tuesday nights. And this was at Yorktown's. And one day he was just really getting on my nerves. And, I don't want to do prep. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to teach you. So I ended up walking in from our pasta bar and I had a bowl of butter. And it was kind of melted at this point. And I took a big spoon and I was pretending to eat it as if it was ice cream. And he's like, hey, like, Cristina, where'd you get that ice cream from? And I'm like, oh, I just got it from the freezer. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, I could go for some ice cream. And I'm like, let me help you out, bud. Like, let me share. So I took like a big scoop and I just fed it to him. And he's like, oh my God, this is not ice cream. And I'm like, sucks to suck. I'm like, be a team
Did he
player.
swallow it?
just
No,
knock
he's-
him down a couple pegs.
No, but it was butter, so it was like melted, which was probably really mean of me at the time. But it's a kitchen. You gotta go with it. And it
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah.
I will never forget that. And from that point on, he's like, I'll do my prep. I'll just do it. Just don't give me butter. Just don't give me ice cream. Just totally like ruined the trust, like food wise.
Probably ruined ice cream for him too.
Yeah, probably. But
All right.
you know,
Just gonna make a
It's the
note
game.
here. Don't piss off Cristina.
because you will get softened butter and pretend it's ice cream. I made it. I was a good actress. I made it really believable. But yeah, I think that was probably my funniest staff moment.
That's
awesome.
great.
That's awesome. Now, have you ever had the opportunity, like obviously being at like you've been at golf clubs exclusively, or
Culinary wise, yes. I was at
Okay.
Meadowbrook. I was at Sleepy Hollow, and I was at Meadowbrook. I was at York Downs,
Okay.
and now I'm at Sleepy.
Okay. So have you ever had the opportunity to have like somebody like really famous that you're cooking for?
I'm not really good with names. I know there has definitely been some hockey players who play for Toronto Maple Leafs come to York Downs, but I'm not good at sports at all. So I'm like, I don't know who you are.
That's okay. The Leafs are forgettable.
You
Well,
know,
I was just gonna say, Ryan, go ahead. That's what the league.
we did have. I think he's a Disney star, Robbie Amell. I think he played on Life of Derek. He was a member at York Downs, but other than that, I don't really think there was much, famous thing going around.
Okay. Yeah, so sometimes those types of people cause a stir when they walk into a restaurant. So I was just curious. So and the funny part is they're just people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now you talked about Gordon Ramsay earlier, and that obviously you'd love to work for him. What other chefs, or have you ever met a famous chef?
I've met through the Canadian Baking Show. I've met Anna Olsen. I can't remember his name, but he does You Gotta Eat Here from the Food Network. I can't remember his name.
I know the show, but is he a chef?
I think so. I'm not really sure, but he knows food really well, so he could be.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of those restaurants.
Other than that, not too many, to be honest. Definitely am a fan of Food Network, but I don't watch it as much as a true fan would. But definitely some great names out there. But I would love to work for Gordon Ramsay. I would be on Hell's Kitchen in a heartbeat. If he did one in Canada, I don't really want to go work for him in the States. But where I really am engaged is like from social media and just seeing what other local chefs from other clubs do. And there's so many talented people out there. And at the end of the day, every chef wants to be the best. And, we definitely, I think, drive and we definitely get inspired by what everybody else is doing and what crazy combinations they're coming up with and what's the latest trend and how I can make it first. And I think secretly, like, just everybody is in a little competition with themselves and with the people around them. And especially with social media today, like, you have everything at your fingertips. And I know even for myself, when I post a picture on social media, I am so hard on myself. And I'm not a photographer. I make food, but like at the same time, it's like I wish I had like Aurora beside me and taking a picture and like, is this a good angle? And like, you're so hard, like, because you just want to shine through it and be a part of that industry and be lit on social media that that you can, again, maybe it's part of me that says I want to prove that I can play with the big dogs out there and be known, right? And this is what she does and this is how far she's come and this is what she's inspiring to do. So I think definitely other chefs from other clubs, they definitely inspire me probably the most, other than any other celebrity out there.
Excellent. That's awesome. Ryan, I've got the screen share up here of Christina's Instagram if you want to show it.
Yeah.
So we can go through it here. So you've got some fantastic looking dishes here, and I don't know what you're talking about with wishing you were a better photographer, because like this tomahawk steak just looks. I just want to eat it. And then like, yeah, I know it's a wrap and fries, but I classify pictures in two categories. They're basically, yep, that's a picture, or I wish I took that picture. And this one I wish I took, because I wish I took it and then ate it.
I wish I had a picture, or I wish I had Mark and Aurora taking pictures of me eating the food that Cristina made. Right there would be my ideal thing.
But
that's amazing. I can't take credit for all those pictures though either, because I have some great people that I'm like, oh, that you're taking that picture, send it to me. Especially that one with the fries and the wrap. I had our food and beverage manager Shannon at Sleepy Hollow take that. But yeah, no, you definitely. I'm taking like thousands of angles, and I'm like, oh, this is crop. This is okay. Nope, let's switch it up. With my iPhone here, but thank you. I love all the feedback.
Perfect. So out of what we're seeing on the screen here, what would be your most favorite dish that we're looking at here?
I started my page fairly new once like I got to Sleepy, but I would have to say the third from the middle down. It is bacon wrapped meatloaf. It has like the brown plate.
This one here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that the one from your cookbook?
It is.
The cookbook feature?
Yes.
Ooh.
So that was
the recipe a bit?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I had an amazing opportunity. I'm part of a club society of managers of Canada, and it's a network of all food and beverage people from the industry, and we get to actually go to food and beverage conferences every year. Every year we usually do Food Network's social at one of the like prestige clubs in Ontario, but because of COVID, we couldn't do it. And the committee was very smart, and they're like, we're gonna ask, I think, 35 chefs to be a part of our digital cookbook, and we can broadcast it, and you can share it to your members, and get everybody in touch with what everyone's kind of doing. And I was extremely honored to be able to do that. As soon as I asked, I jumped at the chance, and I'm like, hell yes, I am doing this. So this was a Kobe bacon wrapped meatloaf wrapped in bacon, stuffed with smoked applewood cheddar. It has crispy leeks on top, and then a maple sweet potato mash at the bottom, and then a bourbon jus around it. So it was one of those things I thought of that, I love fall dishes. Fall is my favorite season. So I'm like, how can I put fall on a plate and then eat it? So that was basically like the inspiration behind that. But I just loved the way it turned out.
Yeah. Awesome. It looks delicious, and you had me at bacon, of course, but I would definitely order that. Awesome. Now these ones up here, what are these? Are these they're a taco?
Yep. So we have
tacos.
Yep, we have that currently on our menu now. I wanted to represent something. We did feature this in the month of June, so I wanted to represent something with pride, something that was super colorful, really fresh. And tacos, everybody loves a good taco. So we did shrimp, and we have some cabbage in there. We have some carrots. We have a corn salsa. And then, looking online, and I ordered through GFS, and which that's Gordon Food Services. I saw these blue corn tacos, and I'm like, gluten-free and blue and colorful. Okay, sold. So we have been actually selling nonstop of these.
That's awesome.
I can imagine. If I lived close, I'd be buying those nonstop.
So for the listeners that are listening on Spotify, what we're looking at on the screen here is a picture of 3 tacos with a roasted lemon to squeeze on them. They're shrimp tacos on blue corn taco shells with, as Cristina said, the corn salsa. They look delicious. They absolutely look delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I'd like to screen share in a second because I kind of want to talk about culinary is an art in general, but there's a big part of culinary and pastry that is actually like art making, like the plating and the designing of the cakes. And you sent some amazing pictures of cakes for us, and I really want to showcase some of those. It's going to take 2 seconds for me.
So while she's doing that, then I've got a quick question for you. Are you somebody that has a lot of secret recipes? Are you somebody that has never gone into the secret keeping when it comes to your culinary skills? What's your take on that?
You know what? Because I have the background in pastry, we're definitely into the recipes and following step by step. But in culinary, you gotta get to do whatever you want, and it's a little bit of a free for all. And if something doesn't work out, you can always tweak it. But I've always been pretty open with my recipes. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. It's something like we've had members ask, like, "Oh, your roasted red pepper soup is to die for. Like, can I get the recipe?" And I'll easily email it to somebody. It's definitely it's definitely not something that I keep a secret.
That's fair.
Awesome.
Olaf, what in the world are we looking at?
So I'm actually really curious about this one. I know I'm probably out of focus with where I am on the camera. I can't even actually see what's going on the camera, but I'm hoping you're seeing this properly. So I'm curious, like, this is a cake, obviously, of Olaf, but there's something particularly amazing about it. Like, there's a whole piece that's floating in the air.
That's the part that I'm trying to figure out here.
Like, how did you do that? That's
time
incredible.
and love.
I was going to say very, very carefully by the looks of it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember what year I made this. But I've had some crazy family members definitely challenge me and say, I want this and I want that. And I've done like Olaf, and they're like, I want an elephant and that kind of stuff. But like this one, I want to say that, okay, Olaf's head is definitely not cake.
Okay.
So that was styrofoam that I cut, and I wrapped it in fondant, and I used as his arms, I used like kebab skewers, and I like wrapped them up, and I think there's probably like a good 10 on each side, and wrapped it up and fondant them and made his little hands, and I just like basically jabbed them in the cake and prayed that they would stay. Usually how things work is just pray that it will stay and it will work and don't fall over, especially at a kid's birthday party, like I just did right now. So yeah, no, it was definitely that one was a challenging one for sure, to kind of make sure it could deliver.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
awesome. So this one here, it's definitely a wedding cake, right?
Yeah,
You guys
this
have
one
seen
this one was my favorite one. So this was, I keep falling, I'm sorry. This was definitely my favorite one. Like this was actually this girl contacted me, and I think she contacted me through Facebook when I had my page up there, and she was actually the pastry chef for Four Seasons. So no pressure. She was getting married in Mexico, or sorry, she did get married in Mexico, and then they were going to have the reception in Canada. And basically, she's like, I want this kind of cake. And I'm like, she goes, I'll buy you all the ingredients. I'll just pay you for your time. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So this was probably like my favorite one of all times that I've done.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Absolutely impressive.
I'm seeing like a lot going on here. There's like really amazing gradation that you're getting. It looks like it's like painted on.
It's spray painted. So I have an air gun, So I put
Okay.
some liquid food coloring, and I just like try not to go over crazy because I love to spray it. Yeah, I just put on a turntable and I just keep spraying it until I kind of get the depth and color that I want. Um, yeah, so that's all kind of to mimic the ocean on an ocean and sand kind of cake there.
That's awesome. And what's
Yeah,
the sand actually? I'm curious.
Brown sugar.
Oh, nice.
That's a smart move.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the decorations on this? The starfish and that, are they edible as well, or
No, so
no?
those
Okay.
were things that she just provided, and
Okay.
she's like, I don't care if the shells or the people on top are edible. She goes, we'll take it off.
Yeah.
But in all secrets, there's only one tier on that cake that is real. Everything else is fake. Can you guess which one's real?
I'm gonna guess the base, maybe.
I'm gonna go one above the base. I'm gonna go one above the base. No,
So-
no. I'm gonna go actually. It's the one right below the top. It's the one right below the top.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mark?
I'm going with the second one down.
So if the one by the cake board is number 1,
Okay.
and then we go 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
it is the second
big
one
three.
that is real.
Oh, the second layer.
Yep, the second
wow.
second.
Oh wow. So
Out of all of them, I thought that one was like fake, because it just looks so perfect. You know, like it's incredibly perfect. Wow,
that's awesome.
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
And then we've got this one here.
The texture on that is insane.
Yeah.
Like-
this to me is literal art. Like
I was gonna
obviously-
say, it's almost like you have to have an art degree to pull this kind of stuff off.
Yeah.
This one was actually my pastry final for my 3rd level at George Brown for Pastier. So we had to do a wedding cake for our exam, which that's my kind of exam. I don't like to do anything where I have to write stuff. If it could be anything artistic or like actually physically done, I'm all for it. So our chef said, let's make a 3-tier cake and you have 12 hours to do it. And it was split 2 days, 6 hours, 6 hours. And I said to the chef, I can't do a 3-tier cake in 12 hours. And she goes, why? That's so much time. And I go, that's too much time. What can I do? Because can I go more? And she goes, yeah, do whatever you want as long as you're finished. So I had to like space out and make my time because you get marked on how well you use your time. So I just didn't want to sit there and, not do anything. So I ended up making each petal on those tiers one by one and shape them out. And, that's all fake, the cake. It was all styrofoam. But it took, I did it in the 2 days where I shaped each petal. And as I'm shaping each petal, I'm deeply regretting what I'm doing. But because I can't even tell you how many petals are on this cake. But, I was very happy with the end result. Like, this could definitely be somebody's wedding cake. And I actually still have this cake in my basement. It's wrapped up with garbage bags. And it's still actually perfectly intact, surprisingly.
Wow.
That's very cool.
That's 3 wows from us, so that's very impressive.
Wow.
3 wows.
Amazing. Thank you.
Excellent. Have you ever thought about going on a show like Nailed It and playing like pretending you don't know what you're doing and then busting out a creation like this?
You know what? Not really. If I was going to be on any show, I think I would want to be on Chopped, to be honest.
Okay.
I love that. I think that's probably my favorite show on the Food Network, just because you don't know what you're going to get, which I would probably be absolutely terrified after I open that basket, because my luck, it would be things I've never worked with. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go with this. But no, other than I loved doing these cakes, but, I've definitely put a lot of it aside to do culinary and put my full focus on, being a chef. I think I've lost a little bit of touch on the pastry side, in the sense of you're crazy hours, and you work 12 hours a day or 10 hours, 14 hours, whatever it is. And the last thing, to be honest, is what I want to do is to go home and bake a cake. So I definitely do get it done if somebody does ask me, because I don't want to let anybody down. But at the same time, it's a lot of work to be put in, and the stress on top of it in delivering wedding cakes is probably more stressful than my kitchen line, to be honest. I've had people call saying my cake is falling over, or I put it in the back seat of my car and it's smushed, and I have literally gone in my car and like zoomed across highways as a 911 cake emergency and try to get things as done, and I'm like a one person show. I don't have backup cakes like how bake shops do. So I'm like trying to I've done one where I think it was a 3-year-old's birthday. It was Tinkerbell, and I will never forget it. I had to go. The cake was destroyed. It was put on a seat, and I literally was there smashing the cake together and icing and bringing extra fondant and basically redid the whole cake. It didn't look half as good as what was there, but we made do, and it was just, I'm like, this is kind of stress I just don't want to deal with. So unless I can kind of control what's going on.
So me suggesting that if you were to have your own TV show, 911 cake operator wouldn't be it.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need a few more Diet Cokes and to really pump up the adrenaline rush there to be able to do that. But yeah, it's definitely one of those stressful things where I'm feeding somebody else, and here's your steak, and I hope you enjoy it, and then you're good. It's not going to topple over. It's not going to, it's crazy how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll just exit the screen here. Can someone else stop the screen share?
Yeah, I can do it there. Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Sweet.
We're learning our technical stuff here.
We're all techie here. Awesome.
Yeah, honestly, Cristina, I didn't know you had gone and rushed in emergency situations for cakes before. Yeah,
I should put lights on my car, and even when you have to deliver a cake, you're like, I should put a sticker on my car and say cake in motion, because you're over super careful and making sure that nothing falls over, and you're just responsible for so much. And it's crazy to think you're only carrying baked goods, but you have to be so careful. And the last thing you want to do is ruin someone's day because you messed up or went over a pothole, and especially a wedding and brides. And that's the last thing I want to do. I don't need any X's on my back from a bride that you messed up my cake.
little placard on the window, cake on board, and
exactly.
LED flashing lights that are shaped like cupcakes on the roof.
Exactly.
Police escort, maybe.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Yeah,
it would really help. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely a wedding certainly adds a certain amount of stress to a day for a lot of the trades that get into it, whether they be photographers or DJs or the chefs and the pastry chefs as well. I think the bartenders are probably the least stressful, right? They just keep popping the lids off and keep pouring. Yeah, you mess something up, pour the next one a little heavier, and everybody's happy.
Exactly.
Perfect. So do you do weddings at Sleepy Hollow as well?
Right now we don't. I heard just from some people that have been here for a while that this was the hit spot for weddings, and like you said that you knew somebody that got married here and was 97, and apparently this place was really, really bumping with weddings, and I hope we can get there by the end of this year or early next year. And it's great revenue for the club. It's you can make somebody's day. It's all those things combined. So I'm hoping in the future we definitely do that. Right now we're just kind of focusing on patio dining, and hopefully with stage 3 we can go indoor dining. And then really kind of hit the ground running and building the trust with the members that we can do some member events and, wine pairing nights. So we're really kind of gearing towards that right now.
Very cool. Very cool. And is Sleepy Hollow, is it a private club?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's a private club. We did open our doors to help. With more revenue, we did open the doors to takeout and to dining right now to non-members, so we can really kind of, get people out and bring more money to the club and get everybody socializing again. So we definitely have done that. We are still doing it right now, but I think we'll end up probably going back to our other ways and being just strictly private and giving that exclusive membership to our members. So
well, there's something to be said about being exclusive. Not just anybody can walk in and go play golf or get a meal. And it is a beautiful spot. Even though the day that I was there, it was in April and it was an ice storm the night before, so it was an adventure to get there. But we lived in Newmarket at the time, so.
Mm-hmm.
But
that'd be a bow.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. I was in the wedding party too, so it was like
had to be there kind of thing.
Yeah. So awesome.
That's awesome. So we're getting towards the end of the show. Oh,
where did Cristina go? Cristina?
Oh, she's gone.
Come back.
Yeah, she's not even in my guest list anymore. So if you're listening on Spotify, we've lost our guest.
Okay. Well, she probably had a cake emergency and had to go. No, it was not a cake. It would have been a shrimp taco.
Yeah, don't say that. She can hear it. She's got PTSD from that right now. She's thinking, "Oh crap," and she's running. There she is.
There she is. So, anyways, that's how they put the caramel in the caramel bar, guys. So,
if anybody's going to know how they do that, I think it might be Cristina. Let's be honest about this.
I know.
It's magic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I was hoping she was going to tell us. I was like waiting in suspense.
I was too, because I really don't know.
Well, they make a chocolate little cup.
That's awesome. So we're getting towards the end of the show. Again, Cristina, I'm so happy that we had you on. It's been a really fun conversation, learning about the world of culinary and pastry from you, and your career and the hardships and the good times. But right towards the end of the show, we ask a few questions from our guests. And the first one would be, what is your jam? What is a song that gets you going, that either you love to work to, you love to, dance to, or get you moving, get you energized? What's your favorite song?
Given your industry, I'm really curious on this answer. Like, I had Slayer down. Like,
wow, that is so tough. We always have music on. The radio is very repetitive. So right now, I think today, I'm going to say today, I think I have heard Maroon 5, Beautiful Mistakes, probably about 7 times. So I'm going to go with that's the jam of the day. I don't know why. It just, as soon as I hear it, it gets stuck in my head. And then when I think it's done, it's playing again. I'm like, I love all music, like, to be honest. I love a good country song. The old me would like, or maybe the younger me, I should say, is like huge into like Paramore and Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. Any of those songs come on and I'm like immediately like in jam mode. I think right now on the radio there's a song called Good for You, which I can't remember. I think her name is Olivia something that sings it, but it sounds exactly like Mystery Business from Paramore. So I think I've been kind of like listening to that and really getting in touch with that kind of vibing again, and getting back into the old school me, which we used to go to concerts every month and just
like a nostalgic vibe almost.
Yeah, I've been like, especially like in Aurora knows, with our group of friends, like concerts are huge, and anytime we got to go to Much Music, we would. Back in the day on NML, I think it was called, but like, that's basically the jam. I guess anything that's on the radio that kind of gets stuck in my head, let's just go.
Perfect.
Awesome. The next one is, what is that tool you always take with you? It doesn't have to be something physical, It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be anything really. But what is something that you need to get what you need to do done in your creative field?
Wow, that is a question.
Yeah, it's like what's your main tool? What's the thing that you always need with you?
You know
It
what?
gets through your day to day, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Whatever gets the job done, right? You know what? At the end of the day, is a good attitude. You know, if your attitude absolutely sucks, like no one's having fun. You know, I know my staff look at me and, you know, is she in a good mood? Is she okay? You know, and you got to be that rock. So I think having a good attitude, making sure you have a coffee in the morning and just do what you got to do. And if you're running out of fuel, I have a case of Diet Coke in my fridge that will kind of get you through there. So I think like definitely like that tool is like attitude, 100%.
Well said.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Attitude is so much in any line of work, any line of creativity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any line of day to day living too. I mean, it's if you don't have a good attitude about your day to day life, it's people around you are going to notice that. So
100%.
For sure. Absolutely.
That's for sure. And the final one is every week we ask our guest to assign a challenge to our listeners or our viewers, subscribers, whatever. What would you challenge the viewers, the listeners of the Expressions podcast to? This
or subscribers, whatever.
Subscribers.
I would challenge the subscribers and even yourselves to make something you've never made before. Whether it's something you saw in a magazine, Instagram, savory or sweet, if maybe it's a recipe that you had that you're kind of scared to, just try something different. I'm sure you're going to be surprised, and you're going to surprise yourself and the people around you. It's not rocket science. I can do it. It's not rocket science. You know, just try something new. Anything.
Not to offset that, but I burned chicken noodle soup once, so I just want to make that.
Yeah, alphagetti.
There we go. Yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a pot buried on Sauble Beach to this day. I think that we buried it instead of having to fess up to it.
There's lots of great recipes out there. I'm sure we will be able to do it. Let me know if you need help. I'm willing.
Oh, that's the key word, recipes. I think that's what we missed. I think instructions, following a guideline. Yeah, that's the problem. That's
try
where
something
we messed
new. Find a recipe online. You know, they have some great tips, some great vlogs. Instagram, TikTok, for all that matters, teaches you how to make things these days.
I love TikTok. I follow a lot of chefs on TikTok.
But I do watch the reels on Instagram a lot, mainly dog videos. But but I do see some definitely cool things out there. And it's, you know, if I could take a decent picture, I'm sure we can make a decent meal. How about that?
There we go.
Perfect.
That is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Cristina, for being on.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. And all your dishes look absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
Kind of getting hungry now.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully my dinner's ready before 9:30, so we'll see.
Well, hopefully the world opens up so I can go golfing and enjoy some good food.
That's right.
Amazing.
That's
amazing.
Right.
Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. I loved every minute of it.
Perfect. I do have one more question for you, and it sort of circles back to the beginning of the show when you were talking about the difficulties you had being a woman in the culinary industry. What piece of advice would you give to any woman, not necessarily a young woman, but any woman starting out in wanting to be a chef or a pastry chef? What piece of advice would you give them?
I would say, follow your heart, follow your dreams, work hard. Don't let anybody bring you down. Find that confidence within yourself, even if it's just for a second, to to bring your spirits back up. This industry is hard, and life is hard in general, but why should we allow other people to make our lives harder? So really just go for it. Like, if things knock you down, get back up. If you need to take a cry, go in the dry storeroom, go in the fridge, let it out. It's okay. Just be yourself, just get it done. And you'll always have somebody in your corner, whether it's someone on social media, whether it's someone in the back door of your house, or anything like that. Like, there'll always be somebody there. And just keep trying. Don't get discouraged. It's definitely a cool place to be. And at the end of the day, just be you. And it's okay that you're not the best at everything, and it's okay that you may not be the best cook on the line, but at the same time, you can get there and have your good attitude and keep your passion close to you. And at the end of the day, you are an all-star, and that's what you just got to keep telling yourself.
Perfect. That's great advice. And if all else fails, feed him a spoonful of butter.
Yeah, and exactly. And if you piss off any of my girls, they'll get you with butter. So just be careful.
She lied. She does have some secrets. She's exposing them, but she's got them.
Easy.
Okay, we'll edit that out.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, just got to do what you got to do, and don't let anybody bring you down. It's the world's a hard enough place, and we don't need negativity to bring us down. Like, at the end of the day, everybody has a demon or a darkness, and you just never know. And let's just have a good attitude, and we're all here for the same reasons, whether it's just for passion, you need money, or you just do what you love. So let's make it easy.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening to the Expressions podcast. Thanks again, Cristina, for joining us. You've been an amazing inspiration to me, and I'm sure Ryan and Mark as well. I know Mark was trying something new already before the podcast even started.
So. I love
it. Going. It's still going. I'll let you know how it works out.
Yes, please.
The smoke detectors are going off. So.
It's awesome. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm really glad that we had this discussion. Thank you for your inspiring words to females in the industry. I think it's really important because it is tough in a lot of lines of work for women, and it's a really serious issue that needs to get resolved in a lot of places. So
it says something. Sorry, about the male fragility as well. When you see, like, a lot of the stereotype outside of your industry has been, oh, women belong in the kitchen. For years, you've always kind of heard that stereotype. And now you're somebody who has worked very hard to be in that industry. And then you look at people that are looking down on you saying, oh, well, you're a woman, you shouldn't be here. And so it's weird when you get that double kind of standard, and it's all because men are, like, we have to admit it,
jerks.
We're too fragile and we're jerks. Yeah, we're assholes, right? So it's definitely it's interesting when you kind of see it and have it explained to you from both sides as well, right? Because I've never actually had a conversation with a female chef who's been able to break it down where we go, yeah, you've gotten shit on from both, or pardon me, you've gotten pooped on from both sides. So it's very challenging and eye-opening, to say the very least.
Yeah, well, it's definitely one of those. It's in the industry too, right? I was saying to my friend, we're interviewing an executive chef, and the question was, oh, where does he work? And I said, oh, she is the executive chef, and this was a female I was talking to, and oh, really? A female executive chef? That's awesome. But it's just that perception, right? It's when you hear executive chef, people just think female, and I don't know why. And
it's the same thing when I meet a staff or a potential staff for an interview, talk, like, answering the phone, and they're kind of surprised, or they meet me in the interview, and I have an amazing sous chef who is a man, and when I end up walking in, it's sometimes it's a shock. I think it's becoming a little bit less of a shock as the years go by. Like I remember, going to those food and beverage conferences, and I would look around, and I'm like, am I the only female chef here? Like in command. Like great female sous chefs out there. And there's amazing female executive chefs, but like it's definitely, the industry is growing, and I think we are definitely we're starting to rule the world, I think, and that's what I'm kind of keeping in my mind. But the world's changing. We can't scream at top of our lungs anymore because I can't throw a frying pan.
My mom did once, hit me right beside my head.
Did you deserve it?
Of course, I told you I'm a jerk.
Yeah, no, can't do that anymore. You have to, chefs are known for swearing, and I have a very bad swear mouth. But
Or I beat you to that tonight. So
yeah, see, I'm on my very best behavior. My mom will be super proud because she's like, "Don't talk like that." And I'm like, "Sorry, it's the kitchen life." But yeah, the world is changing, and it's becoming amazing. And go women, and you know what? But and at the same time, history has a reason, and I learned under some amazing male chefs, and I'm at the end of the day, we're all equal. So like, as long as we just get the same respect both ways, hey, let's do it. Let's get ready to cook, and that's all. It doesn't matter.
Perfect. Well, you have my respect, and if I'm ever down there, I'll come for a meal.
Absolutely. I hope my kitchen's okay over there. I left my sous chef in charge, so I gotta.
We've had you for an hour and a half here.
This is amazing. I get to chill in my office during.
You never get a break, right?
Breaks are one of those things. It's a sensitive subject. I don't tell you to go on break. You go on break when you think it's best, and let's hope you think it's best the same time I think it's best. We do our best. We honestly we go when it's not busy. Like right now, I would probably be either expediting on the line or being behind the line in regular dinner service, but I staffed appropriately today. And I'm like, you guys got this. I trust you.
Perfect.
So they might be out there swearing up a storm, and
it's definitely possible. It's been very hot in the kitchen today, so I'm sure everyone's kind of maybe a little grouchy and tired, but it is what it is.
Perfect. And where can people find your cookbook? Is that something that they can buy online? No, it's a compilation book, right? You just have recipes in it. Is that correct?
So I only have one recipe in there, but there is some amazing recipes from other chefs from other private clubs. I could send the link to Aurora, and you don't have to buy it. It's just a downloadable link.
Okay,
people love free things. That's even better.
I know, it's free.
It's free. We'll put the link below, and people can try new stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely tag me. There's some great recipes in there.
I think we're going to tag Gordon Ramsay too, because we talked about him quite a bit.
Bring it on, Gordon Ramsay. I'm ready. You got a job in Canada. I would work for you.
If we can get Gordon on the show, we'll invite you as one of the hosts.
Because Cristina, you got to play hard to get. You got to play hard to get with them.
Don't just lay it all out there.
Yeah, you can't just be like, I'll work for you. Like, don't worry, for free, I'll do it.
I'll just play hard to want.
Not for free. I'm worth a pretty penny. But no, I love where I am right now. I've got nothing but warm smiles and compliments, and some constructive criticism from the members already. They definitely speak their voice, but I love the place I'm working at right now, and definitely golf courses in general is my spot. It's my gig, so I'm very happy. But this was amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you to all the listeners out there for joining us for another episode of the Expressions podcast. I hope you guys all have a great night or day.
Or week, or month, or year.
We are a host shy tonight. Brian is taking the night off because it is his 50th birthday. That's right, I said 50.
29th birthday, yeah. 100%. It's his 29th birthday.
He's older than me. He's 50. So
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, I did. So this will be my last show.
So Brian will be back next week. Mark won't. And thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Perfect.
Awesome. And again, thank you so much, Cristina. And we will see you guys next week on Expressions, the podcast.
You inspired me. I brought home my father-in-law's smoker when we were down in Southern Ontario, and I cleaned it after work tonight, and I've got some sausages in it right now with some applewood biscuits. So I was running in and out checking it. It's not quite up to temperature yet. I'm probably going to be eating it like midnight, but that's why I picked sausages, because they cook fairly quickly in the smoker. So.
Awesome. That's exciting.
All else fails, and when I get hungry, I'll pull them off and throw them on the barbecue.
Yep.